but all they did was...
어리석구나.
What? He's a she! I knew it! Greetings, my fellow gamers. It is I, Wraith King. Yeah, I did change that intro, by the way. I wasn't liking it. But anyways, today is a little frustrating for me. One of the reasons is Seven Nights. Actually, it's kind of the only reason, now that I think about it. Today's been a pretty cool day. Really, but it's just when I got home, I sat down and opened up my phone. I was like, hey, new update for Seven Nights. I wonder what new character I get to review. And when I checked the character list, I have never been more disappointed with any update in Seven Nights before. I have never been this disappointed. They recently added the Street Fighter characters to the Korean version, but here's what disappointed me. None of them have awakened forms here. Meaning they're completely useless. Like, they have no real use. I mean, all these characters are really meant for one mode. And since I don't exactly have an awakened form, it just makes them even more useless. I don't want to sound like I'm whining or I'm upset or anything like that. I've never been angry with Seven Nights, and even this doesn't make me angry, even though it is pretty disappointing. The reason, again, the reason I just cannot stand this update is just they do not have awakening forms. I mean, don't get me wrong, they have a few changes to them, but it still doesn't mean anything. The changes that have been added to the characters, it's just nothing great. It's only a few things, but it doesn't make them better characters. It just makes them different. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to review these characters. I'm going to go over, because it's only 5 characters, really. I'm going to tell you what they are, what their skills do, and then we're going to take a look at their animations. I'm not entirely sure the animations have changed or not, so again, I'm kind of going into this new, just like the last video I made on these characters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read these, translate these for you guys and gals out there, translate them one at a time, and after I'm done with that, we're going to take a look at their animations. But the translations probably shouldn't be too much different from what they are before, because, as I said, they're just small changes to the characters. One of these changes I'm going to mention right away is Akuma does no longer drops the HP down of a character to 1. This instead just does solid damage, and I believe it might debuff. I'm not entirely sure if it does anything else. But other than that, there's no real change concerning like animations, at least from what I know. But I still have not seen them, but I'm pretty much guaranteed the animations haven't exactly changed. So this is kind of boring. I was kind of hesitant to even make this because there's no real reason why anybody would exactly want to spend 200 gems on a character that doesn't even have an awakened form and only has one real use. While other awakening characters have such large uses in the game that are even greater than some of these collaboration heroes, way greater. For example, you get a special character, say you got a Chris, and you can level him up to 50. All you need to do is spend like a couple hundred gems on him for the leveling up process, and that's what it usually is for me. That's what I use my gems for in this game, is to level up my characters. After I've gotten the right material, it takes a long time to level them up by grinding through adventure mode. So what I do is I use my gems, and that costs a lot of gems. It costs 30 gems like every 2 levels, but be that as it may, that's still 30 gems. And you're looking at, let's see, how many levels does it take to get to level 50? That's 10. So just figure that up in your head. How many gems do I have to spend to do that? And that means I need to save up the gems I have if I want to level up all my characters the way I need to. So spending gems on a character that doesn't really have any characteristics that'll make them useful to me at all, and they don't have an awakened skill, and they don't have anything that can really help me, even though they do serve you very well in those modes that they are good in, it's just that they're not as useful as most of the characters in this game that can serve you better in that mode that they're meant to do. being... I don't know what's wrong with me. My words are usually jumbling up pretty badly, but this is ridiculous. But what I'm trying to say is there are characters that can do what they can do, but better. So why should I spend 200 gems on a character that's lesser than the characters I already have? That's my point. If they have at least given them awakened forms, I would have said, yeah, okay, this is a good idea. But right now, this just doesn't seem like a good idea. I mean, I love Seven Knights. I love you guys so much. Please don't take this as an angry rant, because it's not. I like that you added these characters to this, to the Korean version. It's just that they don't do anything. All they do is just some different, just slight difference in skills and abilities. But that's it. That's it. There's no real difference here. Why should I even take my time to review these characters if they barely do anything different? And they don't even have an awakened form, so why should I even bother? That's my point here. And it's not just about my review, it's about the people who are playing this game. Why should they buy these characters for 200 gems? Besides the fact that they're exclusive. They don't really do anything. It's just, I just don't see how anyone could really spend 200 gems. I mean, maybe on the global version. That's why I didn't really have too much a problem with it on global version, because on the global version, there are very few awakened characters, and people are still using their regular old 6-star characters. So these characters seem a little more special and a little more useful right there. But since they don't have awakened forms on the Korean version, there are so many awakened characters. I mean, there are so many. And what I mean by so many is everyone uses awakened characters on a team. Everyone has a team filled with awakened characters, and awakened characters are way stronger. Even the normal awakened characters are way stronger than the 6-star Street Fighter collaboration characters. So that just proves my point that these characters just... Why? I mean, I was expecting, when I saw this character list, I was expecting to scroll down a little bit and see Awakened Akuma as Oni and see Evil Ryu. But no! I didn't even see that. I just saw regular old 6-star characters. I mean, wow. But anyways, I'm sorry about this little... I don't know what to call this, like a little fit or something I'm having here, but because I'm not angry, just a little disappointed is all. But yeah, okay, let's take a look at their skills. Let's take a look at Ryu's. This skill right here. Computer, you know what? I'll tell you what. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to try to translate these without the computer, because the computer, she takes a while to translate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna translate them myself and tell you guys what exactly they are. Excuse me. Again with my words jumbling up. What is wrong with me today? We'll start with Akuma first, because he is my favorite. And then we'll go down to Ryu. So we're kind of going backwards with the character list. What this does right here is it gives a 5% increase in damage from this hero in particular, Akuma. He gets a 5% increase in damage, and it also increases 100% of all damage done for your entire team for 3 turns, which is cool, but well, that's what it's translated to, and I have to tell you, it's cool, but at the same time, why? Like, why should I fit him on my team when I have characters that can do better things than this? What this does is it deals 60% magic damage to, I believe it's all enemies. Yes, it's all enemies. And it does this 3 times, and it reduces the turn buff by 2 turns. So it debuffs 2 turns, and it deals 60% magic damage to all enemies 3 times. Again, nothing too fancy there. But okay, again, I promise I would make this a light review. I'm going to try to make this as light and as positive as possible, and I'm going to try not to get angry through this whole video. But all right, what this does, this is probably the most disappointing one out of all of them. What this does is it inflicts 400% magic damage on 2 enemies. In addition, it increases the total damage of all your allies by 40% for 2 turns. So it no longer reduces, on the global version, it reduced HP, the HP of an enemy to 1, kind of like Lee. But on this one, it seems like they're going for something a little more, I want to say Arena again because of the AoE and the damage increasing, but at the same time, I kind of want to say maybe a few raid bosses, he might be a little useful. But again, not entirely something I find great. But he's still a good hero. I mean, the damage increasing on him is insane. Like, he really increases damage, like insanely increases damage. So that passive along with this ability right here, he is he can really increase damage. So he's pretty strong, but he's just not he's really. He's not 100%. I still kind of wouldn't have him on my team, even if I did get him, which I didn't. I actually got Chun-Li, but that's okay. I like Chun-Li too. I'll actually be going over her in a minute. But right now we're gonna go to Necalli. Now I know I said his name right this time. Because someone told me in the comments that it's pronounced Necalli. Glad I pronounced it right. But anyways, let's take a look at his passive. It doesn't look like much, does it? What this does is it increases the attack of all your allies by 70%, and you're immune to all formation changes. So why? Why? I mean, I get he's like a single use, kind of like the one on the the global version. But at the same time, why? I mean, it's just no awakened form. I mean, a Necalli of all of these characters could have had an awakened form. Well, you want to know why? Well, actually, you see this form right here? He actually turns into this from the game. In the game, he starts out like this, and then he transforms into this character right here with a special ability. Now, saying that, this is kind of like a Super Saiyan version of himself. So this could have been an awakened form. So I am very confused as to why they didn't make him an awakened character over all the characters. But what really bothers me, now here's something I just noticed. His 5-star form only has 1 skill, but yet his 6-star version has another skill. It's like they're saying, oh, this could have been his awakening skill. I mean, this is probably the most disappointed I've been. I've never been this disappointed with any update concerning Seven Knights, like, at all. This is insane. I mean, wow. But you know what? That's okay. I'm going to try to make this as light as possible because I've never been disappointed with Seven Knights, and I never will be. But anyways, let's try to translate what this ability does. This inflicts 60% physical damage to all enemies, and it does this twice. In addition, this is something a little weird. I don't really know what this is, but maybe you guys might be able to figure it out. The number of offensive heroes, is subtracted twice from my buff. I don't know what that means. I mean, that's exactly what it translated to. But maybe the comments can help me figure out what exactly this is. His second active ability just deals 170% physical damage to 4 enemies, and it removes buffs. Now, as for Karin, her passive just increases weakness by 60%. So, again, not feeling very satisfied. But that's okay. They released these characters just to catch up with the global version, if I am correct. So, you know, that's alright. I don't have too much of a problem with it. Her first active skill inflicts 320% magic damage to enemies that are magic based. This inflicts 150% magic damage to an enemy, I believe it says, with the highest armor. I believe that's what it says. And this also applies to guaranteed critical hits. So, again, kind of an average hero, but you would expect that from a regular old 6-star. But let's take a look at Chun-Li's skills. Let's see if anything has changed here. What Chun-Li's passive does is she simply reduces the skill CD of all allies with basic attacks by 10 seconds. So, nothing too great there. No void shield, no nothing. Her first active skill deals 190% physical damage to 3 enemies, and it removes 3 turns from their buff. Again, this is really basic, and it's starting to make me feel even worse than what I already do about these characters. What this does is it inflicts 180% physical damage to 3 enemies twice. That is all it does. You know, I am actually just going to make a more solid critique on all of these characters after I'm finished reviewing their skills. What Ryu's passive does is he increases the magical and the physical damage of all allies by 50%, and your entire team is immune to having their skill CD increased. So far, it seems like I kind of just like the global version of these characters more than I do the Korean version of the characters. But you know what? I'm not going to get into a serious, deep discussion about the critique just yet until I finished reviewing all of the skills. His first active ability inflicts 140% physical damage twice to 3 enemies. That's all it does. So again, very small, very short, nothing much concerning damage, no debuff, nothing. Very small attack, but okay, let's take a look at his second active skill. As for his second active skill, what this does is it inflicts 210% physical damage to 4 enemies. Additionally, this penetrates. Now, Akuma is probably my favorite out of this collaboration hero list because he actually is just the strongest, like hands down. Like the rest of the characters just seem like weaker versions from the global version. But that's not even the half of what's bothering me here. But before I get to that, let me just tell you about the animations. They haven't exactly changed at all. For a few of the other characters besides Akuma, I think they changed some of the camera angles for their animations so they look a little bit better. But other than that, no, not much has actually changed with the animations other than the camera angles. So expect the camera angles to be just a little bit different when you see them, but everything else is exactly the same. Now, I wouldn't have had a problem with the animations at all, at least if they have just given us an awakened form for these characters. That is the only thing that has been bothering me with this collaboration hero list, is that they have not given us awakened characters. I mean, this just doesn't make too much sense to me at all. I mean, the Korean version is so far ahead in the story and in the game, so they have so many awakening characters, and so many really strong 6-star characters, 6-star special characters, that they need awakening characters for their other heroes. And as you can see, every time they have released collaboration heroes, a new collaboration hero list, they have added at least 2 new awakening characters to those collaboration hero lists. The only one that doesn't have awakened characters is the Guilty Gear hero list. But back then, when they released these characters, they were kind of suited what was going on, because they didn't have a lot of awakened heroes. Don't get me wrong, they still had a good amount, but they were still a little bit of a luxury back then. And when you saw a 6-star character, they were still a little useful. So having no awakened heroes on that collaboration hero sheet made sense. But now it just doesn't make any sense to not have an awakened character, or at least 2 awakened characters on a collaboration hero list, because they need it, or else they'll just seem useless. They won't seem like you actually need them. But they did give you a free one, which was still a little cool. As you can see, I did unlock Chun-Li. But regardless of that, it just seemed pointless to me. It just didn't seem like there was really a reason for me to even care about these characters. It just doesn't make any sense why they would add these characters without awakened forms. But you know what, that's enough getting angry about what they didn't do. Let's just be happy that at least they've worked their hardest to add these characters to the game and catch up with the global version. But yeah, so let's look at the bright side of things with that. But yeah, as you can see, the animations haven't really changed. Voice acting, not really. But I don't think you guys will be able to hear the sound though, because the sound had to be turned off when I was recording this video, because it was really just messed up. It was glitchy. I didn't want to add that, so I had to mute it so it wouldn't sound funny. So I'm sorry that you can't actually hear the animations, but don't worry, nothing has actually changed. Some of the voices changed just a little bit, but not to anything that's noticeable, really. So if you're coming out of the global version and you're going into this one, you probably would barely even notice the difference in voice acting. Macaulay doesn't say as much as he used to, though, so that's a kind of a difference. He kind of just growls. On the global version, he kind of just goes blah, 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 blah. On this one, he just goes Rrr. So there's not a huge change in voice acting, just small changes here and there. So nothing you really would notice, as I mentioned earlier. But I'm still going to show you guys these animations anyways, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to see them who are not playing the Korean version. Yeah, so there's a few things have been changed with camera angles. I think something was changed with color there, but not much. So yeah, there isn't a huge difference concerning the animations. But you know what? I am going to give Chun-Li a chance. I am going to hope that they have changed something with Chun-Li's animations. Color, whatever, something. Just even the tiniest of changes I will accept. Camera angles, no, not really. That's barely a change. But, well, I guess I was wrong to get my hopes up. It doesn't look like they changed anything but camera angles. Yep, just camera angles are the only difference there. But you know what? Maybe Ryu has something different. Let's just hope. What did I just see there? Hang on a second. Hang on a second. What was that? What was that? Excuse me? What did I just see? Aw, man, come on. All they did was...
어리석구나.
What? Huh? What? What? Excuse me? I mean, I don't know how to feel about this. I mean, he already looked like a woman from the side. What'd I miss? Wait. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Forget that other video. Forget it. Hold the phone.
검에 바람을.
Oh. Doesn't look like anything has changed with his her animations. What happened? What happened to her? Whatever. What happened? Why is he suddenly a woman? He's a man here. What happened? He's a 5-star. He's a man. And then 6-star turns into a woman. What happened? What happened? I don't know about this. I mean, she's pretty, but she was a man at 5-star. How am I supposed to feel about that? Okay. What did they make? Did they make these two women? I know this is a little weird for some of the Tio fans out there that Tio is now a Tia, but you know, I'll be honest with you. I feel like his character looks cooler as a female. I really do. It just looks more natural. I don't know. I know it's weird, but it's true. It just looks more natural. I don't know why his 4-star and 5-star are still male. That's kind of creepy, but you know, it's okay. It's okay. I'm cool with it. Just weirded out just a little bit. Because honestly, she's kind of attractive. I mean, very, very attractive. Very attractive. Yeah, they look like they've edited their animations a little bit better. For the collaboration characters. And yes, they did zoom in. Which is awesome. Would my space stop it? Man, I don't know what the deal is with my space today. It's always bugging me. I installed a bunch of stuff before I made this video, so I better end this video off here on that note, my fellow gamers. Wow. I don't know what to say. Like, this whole video's been weird. What am I gonna call this when I upload it? But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review. Whatever this was, this discussion, whatever. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. Please take it easy for me. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, because I make content like this all the time, my fellow gamers. I'm planning on doing it daily again. I've had a lot to do this week. That's why I kind of slowed down on the daily vids. But I'm going to try to upload as many as I possibly can, though, my fellow gamers. So take it easy for me, alright? Bye. It's like your best guy friend turned into a hot girl. You just don't know what to do. I just don't know how to feel about this. Man, this is weird.